Many people who create online courses don't have any problem coming up with their course content, but rather they struggle the most with structuring their content in a meaningful and effective way. In this video, I will share with you the proven course structure that I used when consulting Fortune 500 companies with their learning programs. It's effective, and best of all, it's simple. Here we have a course structure, and you'll see there's 3 phases, and in phase 1 is all about baselining the learner. So you want to welcome them, but more importantly, you want to define the course objective, intended audience, and the common terms. And this is just to get everybody on the same page, so when this stuff comes up later in the course, they know what it is. Also in the baselining phase is the current state definition and the future state definition. Now the current state is just how things work today, why it needs to change. So you're defining the problems right off the bat. The future state is the desired change and the end goal, and why it matters to the learner and how life changes for the better. So you'll see in the baseline phase, you are making an argument for your course and why this content is important. And this is important for establishing buy-in from the learner. Once you've done that, you can move to phase 2, and this is where you connect the dots and you transition the learner from the current state to the future state. And you do this by presenting your content, be it in video format and text and images or infographics. But also important is to include role-based scenarios. And these are just hypothetical situations that apply directly to the learner based on their background. And remember, you defined this in the first phase. You'll also want to include case studies, which are similar to scenarios except they're real-life situations and examples showing your content in practice. Speaking of practice, you want to make sure learners have an opportunity to practice the content as they're going through it. And this is done by creating safe to fail scenarios. So this can be like small assessments, maybe 1 to 3 questions after different lessons or maybe even a case study where it's safe for the learner to get maybe some of the answers incorrect so they can learn the content as they go through it. The third phase is about application. And you can do this a variety of ways depending on your course, but you can do it through assessments and exercises, assignments where people have to actually step away from the course and then submit something, and challenges, maybe team challenges or individual challenges. The application phase of the course should be at the end, but you can also sprinkle these in throughout your course in smaller ways to help enhance the content. But you don't want to do it too much because that will take away from the actual learning phase. Now, this is the application of what they learned. Now, in the application phase, you want to be sure to provide feedback, both peer feedback and instructor feedback. You can do this through forums, live webinars, coaching sessions. And you want this feedback to be both public and private, or at least have both options. The private sessions add-on for LearnDash is a perfect tool for this. And at the end of this phase, you want to measure performance. So this can be done by a final quiz or a final assignment that you're actually grading, and the grade actually matters at this point. So in the previous section we were having safe to fail assessments. This is where it all comes down to. And at the very end you want to allow learners an opportunity to provide their feedback in the course and how things went so you can make iterations accordingly. So that's it. That's the 3 phases. Now let's have a look at what this may look like in LearnDash if you were to set it up. Here we are in LearnDash on the course builder, and you can see that I've already set up a course structure based on what I just went through. We have the welcome, which is all part of the baselining, but then additional baselining where we describe who the course is for, we provide what details on what they'll learn and common terms, and I added this here, a baseline quiz. Sometimes it's nice to know what your learners know before the course so you can compare it to what they've learned after the course. You also have a section where you want to define the current and future states. Just as we described before, kind of description on how things work today, and then a description on what the end goal is and why it's important and why life will be better. Then you present your content. And the content again can be videos and text and infographics, and then also mock scenarios and case studies. Include quizzes as you go through, like mini assessments when you're within the content, or a final quiz for that particular lesson before they get into the application phase. And then there's the application phase, which is assignments and challenges, ongoing discussion. Again, you can sprinkle this through the content as well, but this is a general framework for your entire course. You may also include a pre-final, which is sort of like the final, but one last opportunity where it's safe to fail. And last, but certainly not least, is to provide the final. It can be a quiz, or it can be an assignment or a challenge. You also want to provide an opportunity for learners to give their feedback on the course so you can improve your course over time. So this course format is meant to help you get started in structuring your course content. Adapt it as you see fit on your course subject and intended audience. If you have any questions, then feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks.